Valley Club, the Old Man Logan trials are back, and that means more shards, but stronger Old Man Logans in the wild. So if you're gonna compete, you're gonna need a strong one of your own. And in this video, I got my best picks to smash these Old Man Logan trials and some quick tips you may have forgotten how to get more Cabal and out of time shards. So if you're ready for all of that and the answers to your mailbag questions, because it is Mailbag Monday, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you've had a great weekend, and I hope you're ready to get more shards for Old Man Logan. In this video, we're gonna talk about how to get more shards for Cabal and Out of Time, which are the two teams required for Old Man Logan. But we're also gonna talk about the best picks for Cosmic Bio, Hero Skill, and the villain characters you need to round out the rest of these trials. And it is Mailbag Monday, so we're gonna dive in and answer your questions from the mailbag. But before we get to all that, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel, usually more. Question and answer videos like this, news videos, gameplay videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But let's go talk about the teams that are needed. And the first team that's needed to unlock Old Man Logan is the Cabal team. Now, in looking at this, there are some ways to get some shards for these characters if you don't have them all at 7 stars. Now, Namor is probably one of the easier Cabal characters to get. Shards, there's a lot of places that you get shards: premium orbs, legacy orbs, spotlight raid orbs, which we're going to come back to because a lot of these characters needed for Old Man Logan are in the spotlight raid orbs. Blitz supply and blitz orb, which means that if you have a lot of blitz credits saved up, you pretty much have Namor unlocked, and he's also in a node as well. So very easy to get the unlock for Namor. Iron Patriot and Leader are going to be a little tougher. Iron Patriot is available in a few different places. He's also in that Spotlight Raid Orb, but also in the War Supplies. So Iron Patriot's not a very quick farm. Not only is he in one of the stores that's overloaded in the War Supplies, but you need to actually pop up in a store to get him, but also in the Spotlight Raid Orb, which we're going to come back to. And moving on to the last Cabal member that you need, Leader, you need to get him at highest stars as possible, so that you can get more stars for Old Man Logan. But he's also in the Crucible Supply Store, which kind of like the War Store rotates through. There's a lot of characters that you need to unlock in that Crucible Supply Store, so you may not get Leader popping up. But again, like a lot of these characters in the Spotlight Raid Orb, we're gonna go to that last because this is a very, very valuable orb and helps you get Old Man Logan. So that is who you need for Cabal. There's a few different places: War Store, Crucible Store, but also that Spotlight Raid Orb. And in addition to those 3 Cabal members, you also need 2 more characters to round out that Cabal team. One of them is Loki, the other is Emma Frost. And if you're trying to get Loki shards, you don't have him already unlocked, he's available in the Arena Store. He has a node, a lot of places that you could get Loki, and Arena Orb as well. But like Emma Frost, Loki is based on his kit, so you don't need to put too much investment in him. You do need those stars unlocked to meet the requirements of the Old Man Logan trials, but you don't need to invest a lot as far as his levels, his gear, and a lot of the ISO 8 stuff. So build up Loki as far as the stars, but you don't need to invest too much because he is going to give you value even at low levels. Same goes for Emma Frost. She does have a good special and ultimate, but mainly you're bringing her into most fights in the meta because of her passive, which slows down the enemy. It reduces their speed bar by -10% for all enemies, and that affects their base speed. As far as farming her, you do need to get her up to certain star levels just to meet the minimum requirements. She isn't a node, so it's just a slower farm. Milestone 3 orb, premium orb. So if you don't already have her unlocked, this may be the sticking point for you. But if you're a longer time player, you probably already have her unlocked. And like Loki, don't need to put a lot of resources into this character. Just get these stars for Emma Frost, and you should be good for these trials. And moving on to the Out of Time team, there's a couple sticking points in this team that may stop you from getting max stars. The first is going to be on Black Knight. Now, like a lot of characters, he is available in the Crucible Store. He's farmable. But with these rotation of these stores in the Crucible Store and the War Store, you need these characters to actually show up, not just have the currencies. So one of your sticking points may be on Black Knight. He's also in the Premium Orb, and we have a special event with his Radioactive Orb going on right now. You could also get some shards for Black Knight there. The other major sticking point for this Out of Time team is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Not a lot of places to farm these Cosmic Ghost Rider shards. Like a lot of characters, is in the Premium Orb and the Radioactive Orb, like we talked about. He is in the Mega Orb as well. And like a lot of the other characters needed for Old Man Logan, he is in the Spotlight Raid Orb, but also it has a node that you could farm him. Now, normally these nodes are a slower farm. You're not gonna get a lot of shards farming characters from nodes, but over time you can get the unlock and you can get the chances every single day at this farm. Unlike the War Store or Crucible Store, where you might not see the character that you need for a few days, you can at least get an attempt at some shards every single day on a node with this. So Cosmic Ghost Rider Black Knight is going to be the major sticking points of this team. Cosmic Ghost Rider is available in that Spotlight Raid Orb, but the rest of these characters, Captain America, Captain Carter, Starbrand, should be very easy to get their shards for. Starbrand, one of the more recent characters of this team, is available in the raid supplies, which means he's also available in the raid orb. And if you have an abundance of these raid credits, well, you kind of have unlimited raid orbs here. So you should be able to get Starbrand to 7 stars after a few of these pulls. So Starbrand should not be a problem as far as the unlocked star level for him. Captain America is an older character, and if you're a longer time player, probably already have him at 7 stars, but he's available in a few different places. Farming on a node for Captain America, also available in that Spotlight Raid Orb, also available in a War Orb, Green Goblin Classic Orb, so available in a lot of different places that you can get him. Same thing with Captain Carter, available in a few different places. Premium Orb, Jarvis Recommends Orb, also in that Spotlight Raid Orb. Crucible Supply as well, so a little harder to farm Captain Carter if you don't already have her, but like a lot of these characters, is available in that Spotlight Raid Orb. And if we go into the Orb Chamber for the Spotlight Raid Orb itself, this is probably going to be one of the most valuable orbs that you have for that Old Man Logan unlock. So hopefully you have a horde of these that you could just open these and get the shards that you're hopefully missing for Old Man Logan. But in this left pillar, you have some of the more tougher characters to farm. The only tough character not in this is Black Knight, but Cosmic Ghost Rider, Iron Patriot, Starbrand's pretty easy, but Leader also a little tough. So you can get 75% chance to get one of these tougher farms in here. And then Starbrand is just the easy farm there. And then on the right pillar, you have some other characters. Captain America, Captain Carter also needed for the unlock. Namor is also here. So a lot of the characters that you need are in the Spotlight Raid Orb. So do not forget about this orb, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very, very valuable orb for Old Man Logan. And depending on how many shards you're short, you may want to use some of these elite raid credits to open more Spotlight Raid Orbs to hopefully complete your Cabal, complete your Out of Time and Emma Loki, so you can get the max stars on Old Man Logan. And not only will you need Out of Time, Cabal, Emma, and Loki for these trials, you also have a few other nodes here. You have a Cosmic Bio section. You have 2 nodes for Cosmic Bio, 2 nodes for Hero Skill, and 2 nodes for Villain. Now for the Cosmic Bio characters, shouldn't be too much of a problem if you have Super Skrull. If you don't have Super Skrull and you have some of the more recent characters, you probably still can get through this. Nova is great. Void Knight, one of the best characters in the game, and it's a great choice for Dark Dimension 7 as well. Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic recently got reworked as part of the Illuminati team, so they do have more value than they did versus the first version of the Old Man Logan trials. Photon is still on the Secret Defenders, which still does have some value in Crucible offense, and she does have some value on A-Force and War as well. But the rest of these characters is gonna be kind of up to you as far as what to build. Now, if it were me, didn't have Super Skrull, I would build up Nova, build up Void Knight, I would build up Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic because they're in the Cosmic Crucible meta right now, and I would round out that squad with Photon. Now, it wouldn't be bad building up a character like Phyla-Vell because Infinity Watch, kind of the cockroaches of Marvel Strike Force, they just refuse to get out of the meta. And the reason for that, they start with Safeguard, they start with Immunity, and Nebula has a very, very early evade, so they're gonna be hard to kill. And even though you can beat them, it is gonna be a non-efficient battle in Cosmic Crucible. So you may want to consider Phyla-Vell if you don't have the rest of these characters. And if you don't have some of these characters unlocked, Cosmo does still have some value in War as part of that Nowhere team. Captain Marvel, little bit of value in A-Force as part of that A-Force team in War, and the Thing is part of the Infestation team. So got some backup characters here, but again, my choice, I did not have Super Skrull, Nova, Void Knight, Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, and Photon for those nodes. Now the next section is Hero Skill, and if you have the Spider Society built up for the raids or Crucible or War, wherever you're using them, that is probably the team you're gonna use. The Spider Society is a great team. They have great synergy. Pav was recently made available in that Spotlight Raid orb in that feature section. Penny recently became farmable in the Crucible Supply store. Peter B recently became farmable in the Arena store. So they're all farmable, all easy to get shards for. You probably don't want to use Black Knight in the hero skills section because he's going to be so valuable in the out of time or other sections there. Kestrel is another pick to bring in as well. Gamora has some value like Phylavel does as part of that Infinity Watch. And that is about it. I probably wouldn't invest too much in Nick Fury at this point. And I probably wouldn't invest in the new Avengers too much unless you're really into war. They're still pretty good on war offense or war defense, but if you're not into those game modes, I probably wouldn't invest too much in Ronin and Mockingbird. But if I'm probably gonna really go Spider Society for these hero skill nodes. And if you're a later game player, this villain section should not be a problem at all. Apocalypse, Super Skrull, Green Goblin Classic, lots of really good characters. If you've beaten Dark Dimension 7, you already have Mephisto unlocked, so this should be very easy. Let's say you don't have a lot of these meta characters, like these legendaries, like these Dark Dimension characters. Who would you bring in instead? Well, Kang is a great choice. He is farmable in the incursion node, so you could bring Kang. I probably wouldn't use Namor or Iron Patriot because you probably need them for the Cabal node. Same thing with Leader. I'd probably be leaning into the Sinister Six with Kang. Vulture, Lizard have some great synergy and have some great value as well. Doc Ock, if you have him unlocked. Green Goblin, or Red Goblin, excuse me, has some value as well. Morgan Le Fay is a great character. Craven has some good synergy if you're going to lean into that Sinister / Superior 6. Spider Slayer rounds out that team as well. So you do have options. If for me, and based on this synergy, I probably would lean into Superior / Sinister 6 for these characters, but you do have some good options here. I don't think the villain section will be the most challenging. I think it would be that hero skill or that cosmic bio section, depending on what you have unlocked. So I hope that small tip about those Spotlight Raid orbs really help you and can get you an extra star for Old Man Logan that you probably wouldn't have gotten. But let's go to your mailbag questions of the week. First question, hey Valley. So I don't know which Horseman is best. I don't count Morgan Le Fay because I don't have her. So I don't know which one to grind for next. If you want to, you do like a mini tier list, like Archangel, Rogue, Red Hulk. Obviously it's not accurate. Maybe, I don't know, Apocalypse would be nice to have, so thanks in advance. All right, so as far as the Horseman here, Archangel I'd say has the least value. Morgan Le Fay is a good character, but I find myself using Rogue a lot more on defense, and she is a very annoying part of that team. A highly built up Rogue, even in today's meta, is still very tough to get around. 3 diamond Rogue can be very challenging if you ever built up. So I think Rogue, it's between Rogue and Red Hulk, because Rogue is very solid in defense. Red Hulk I'm using more and more in offense for that turn meter rewind, that revive removal, especially when paired with Apocalypse. He goes very fast and can script the team. So I think it's gonna come down for me. Red Hulk is 1 because I value offense more than defense, then Rogue, then I would go Morgan Le Fay. She still has some value, but for me right now it's more of a defensive tune, and then Archangel because I hardly use that character. But if we're putting Apocalypse into the rating, that would be the #1 character, then Red Hulk, then Rogue, then Morgan Le Fay, and then last but not least is Archangel. I don't know, what do you think Scopely could do to make older characters more valuable or viable and worth it for new players? Some ideas I've had: review and remove game mode specific tags after 1 year in the game. I do like this idea. Remove subsect tags. Astonishing X-Men synergies become X-Men. Add hidden or visible tags stating which year of MSF the character came out in, and use those tags to buff up stats by percentage in War, Cosmic Crucible, Arena, etc. What do you think some of the downfalls to those would be? Do you have any other ideas to make older characters more relevant? All right, so as far as the downside to players, I think this is all benefit to players. I think this is great. Reviewing game mode specific tags is great, especially after a year. So after a year, if the characters didn't meet their mark or the team didn't hit their mark, have the devs go back and review it, would be great for players because it would constantly reevaluate where the characters are in the meta and place them kind of where the devs want them to be. Remove subsect tags. Astonishing synergies become X-Men. So they do have some of the synergies in the background. You kind of mentioned some hidden tags there. I know with Avengers and X-Men, to kind of remove some of the extra tags, they do have X-Men tags and Avenger tags in the background, even though you may not see them in their listed tags. I think it's more about these characters working with each other. I would like them to extend that. So instead of like Jubilee just benefiting Astonishing X-Men, have her benefit all X-Men. I think that would be a good thing to do. And then more hidden or visible tags and buffing out characters after a certain time, I think that's a good thing as well. Now, the only downside I would see, like I said, I think it's all beneficial to players. I think this makes the game a lot more fun. Only downside I would see would be on Scopely's end, because they are a for-profit company, and anytime they do a reevaluation or do a rework to characters, it does take dev hours to actually do the rework, do the testing to make sure it's not over-tuned or under-tuned, to make sure that it hits its mark. And obviously with a handful of devs and thousands and thousands of players, you know, the devs aren't gonna catch everything, and it's gonna go to a live server and players are gonna catch us a lot more. But it does take time for them to make these changes, think of these changes, and start to reevaluate things. Now, I'm hoping that these changes can be done a lot quicker and use less dev hours to do these, and they can become more frequent with these over-the-air changes. The new graphics updates, let's hope this and get more graphics and more environments and things into the game. So I think the only thing would be, if they're spending all these dev hours, spending all this money to make these reworks, they would need to have a return on their investment, because they're not a non-profit company. They are a for-profit company that wants to make a profit. So as long as the devs, the money that they spend as far as dev hours doing these reworks, if they could find a way to make money from this, they are gonna do it. But if it's just spending money, and I'm not sure if that is something that they are looking to do, at least not historically. Maybe the new Scopely, with Savvy buying them, the new management, maybe they're more willing to do these quality of life changes to update characters, update older characters. But just based on what they've done in the past, I think they would need a reason for it to be profitable and make money from it. All right, welcome back from your well-deserved vacation, Valley. Thank you, my brother. I hope you guys had a great summer as well. I didn't start to playing the game till well after the Age of Apocalypse, so I wasn't around for when Death Seed was a meta mutant raid team. It seems harsh to me that we had a brand new legendary on a raid team, because that design locks players out of a full raid team if they miss said legendary or weren't high enough to reach that unlock goal. What are your thoughts on non-reworked legendaries on raid teams? Do you think this is a concern or just overthinking? I think if it's a big concern, the devs will make that legendary a lot more easily available. I liked what they did with all these older legendaries, and even some of these horsemen and older trials. They've expanded these traits to make it not as hard to unlock these characters, especially with Apocalypse. I like what they've done with those trials. Now with Archangel, it does suck that you have to build them up. I did say that he's probably the 4th best horseman out of the 4 horsemen right now, but he still is a pretty good character. The rest of the Death Seed, Magneto, the rest of them not needed at all, but Archangel still does have some value, and the good thing, he is a horseman, so if there are some game modes or some roles that you want to have synergy with Apocalypse, you could use that full horseman team for some synergy. They're not in the arena meta anymore. They're not really meta anywhere else, and you may want to split them onto the other teams, but it is nice that Archangel does have that synergy with Apocalypse in case you want to use him, so it's not a total waste, unfortunately. Hey Valley, just a couple of Dark Dimension 7 related questions. How far are you in Dark Dimension 7? And a city question or two. Is Swarm and Miss Marvel Hardlight good in Dark Dimension 7 or not? I don't think it matters if they're good in Dark Dimension 7 or not. For me, it's a couple different things of characters to bring into Dark Dimension 7, or reasons to bring a character into Dark Dimension 7. One is to have them good in Dark Dimension 7, and for me, that's probably the least valuable thing. The other thing, are they cheap? Which is why I did not want to bring Ravager Stitcher, but I brought him around this time because he was so cheap. Not valuable in Dark Dimension 7, not valuable outside of Dark Dimension 7, but he's cheap, so I brought that character. Same thing with Doom. The reason I'm bringing Doom into Dark Dimension 7 is because he takes 2 pieces of gear, skill and mystic, and instead of just putting all mystic gear or all skill gear, we could do a little bit of each and bring up Doom for that mythical section. So that's why I'm bringing that character. But the third reason is their value outside of Dark Dimension. So a character like Black Knight, not the best in Dark Dimension, but is very valuable in all the other game modes right now. So that was a character that I wanted to bring in. Same thing like Miss Marvel Hardlight last year. She was very valuable in Arena. I brought her into Dark Dimension 6 because she had value in Arena, even though she was very, very bad in the city section of Dark Dimension. So as far as that, I would build up characters that you're going to use after Dark Dimension, not necessarily looking at how good they are in Dark Dimension, because a character like Val, very good in Dark Dimension, but are you going to use them after? If the answer is no, I probably wouldn't take them into Dark Dimension. So for me, it's about cost or their value outside of the role. But as far as your other question, where am I in Dark Dimension Chase? Well, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We are in the cosmic section right now of Dark Dimension, and if we look at this based on my first 3 attacks, I should have this section done very, very soon, and hopefully it's just as easy on this next node. And then I just have 5 characters that I'm working on to finish up the legendary and the mythical section, and those characters are Green Goblin Classic, Nova, and Rogue to round out my legendaries. I already have Logan and Black Cat built up. And then for the mythical section, I already have Apocalypse and Super Skrull upgraded. So I just have to finish up Kestrel and Dr. Doom, and then I will be done with all the characters. Then it's just getting through the actual Dark Dimension and getting that Mephisto unlocked. So that's where I am. But as far as Swarm, Miss Marvel, Hardlight, those aren't characters that I would bring. But if for some reason you have some use of those characters and are going to continue to use those characters, then it wouldn't be the worst thing to bring them into Dark Dimension 7. Just as long as you have a plan for after Dark Dimension 7, because gear 19 is pretty expensive. That Crimson Gear is pretty rare. So you don't want to just throw in any characters. You want to throw in characters that can give you value for a little bit in the meta. All right, normally all the questions I answer in the mailbag video are from the Discord server, but Rev Jake was nice enough to send these questions, so I did want to answer them. Valley, long time viewer, first time sending a few questions for the mailbag. Here it goes. Are there any plans from Scopely to possibly allow players to use silver promotion credits to purchase gold/dark promotion credits, i.e. 10,000 silvers for 1,000 gold? I would love that. I got so many silver promos, so many gold promos that I have zero use for right now that I probably would never have any use for. So hopefully they do a conversion. Now, this is not something that they have discussed or said that they want to do. We've brought it up to them a few times and they've kind of pushed back a little bit. So it doesn't seem that have any plans right now, but that does not mean that those plans will change in the future, because there's gonna be a lot of these that people have in the inventory over time. So hopefully, even if it's a bad ratio like this, it's better than them just sitting in my inventory doing nothing. Next question, are there plans for Scopely to update Real-Time Arena? The matchmaking was abysmal back when it was Mojo's Real-Time Arena. It's gotten even worse now. That is more of an afterthought. Yeah, so I think this was kind of a failed experiment. This was supposed to be a fun game mode. I did like the original version, Real-Time PvP, especially when you could do a balanced draft and do that. But I know a lot of the community didn't like the extended time that the draft gave, and then all the minimal rewards that it really gave. So there's a lot of time for not a lot of rewards. So I think it was an experiment, expanded on all that real-time PvP with real-time arena, and the community didn't like it, and they kind of left it as kind of a test mode now. So I don't think they are going to do too much with it. If for some reason community gets super engaged with this real-time stuff and there's a need for that, maybe they'll go back and look at this again. But I think this was kind of a failed experiment from them, and like, all right, this was good, this is a good idea, but it didn't really work, and that's Real-Time Arena is kind of where it is now. So I don't think there's they have any plans for that. Thanks for all you do, the community. Your videos give me something to watch while on the road. Keep green as well, my friend. Valley, that is it for now. I hope you smash these Old Man Logan trials and get as many stars for Old Man Logan as possible. Don't forget that Spotlight Raid Orb. That is going to be very, very valuable towards your Old Man Logan unlock. And don't forget, there are some elite raid credits that you use to open that radar as well. Hopefully you got some value from this video. If you did, leave it a like. It is free for you. Tremendously helps out the channel. And if you want to see what are the best teams in Marvel Strike Force right now, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck with Old Man Logan. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out.